What's up everybody, it's Neil here with Gadget Hacks, and today we're going to be going over some tips that should help improve your battery life on iOS 9. Let's start by hitting into the most obvious preference, the battery preferences. From here you'll be able to monitor which application is using up most of your battery. For me it's my settings since I'm doing a video, and my home screen. And if you're like me and your home screen is draining most of your battery, you can go up here to enable auto lock, and what this does is if you're not using your device after 30 seconds of not using it, or 1 minute, or whatever time you pick, it'll automatically lock your device and turn the screen off. So if you see an application that's definitely draining most of your battery, maybe it's Facebook or something, you want to consider uninstalling that application, or just remember to close it next time you're done using it. And since we're talking about applications, head into your general settings and go to background app refresh. I'm going to suggest leaving this off. Now it does help your device function a little faster when you're multitasking and going into applications, but I don't need any background processing going on while I'm using my device. Although it may take a little longer to load an app when I launch it or head back into it, I'm fine with that because I'm not wasting any battery life. So go ahead and toggle this off and it'll prevent any background app refreshing and background task. Next, let's head into display and brightness. From here, I suggest leaving auto brightness toggled off. I know you can just swipe and adjust the brightness yourself if you're not that lazy. Also, auto brightness automatically adjusts the brightness depending on your surroundings, and more often than not I find that my brightness level is a little too high when I have auto brightness on, therefore wasting more battery than I see necessary. Now in addition to adjusting the brightness from your control center, I'm going to suggest turning off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi if you're not using it. And if you are using Bluetooth, go ahead and turn off AirDrop if you're not using that. You can also prevent any cyber flashes by doing so. Now let's go and adjust our notifications. Not every notification is important. I don't need notifications for my Alien Blue app. I don't need them for Game Center, but I have them on. So I'm going to toggle this off. Essentially what you're going to want to do is go through and toggle off or adjust the notifications that you don't really need. Aside from text messages and my emails, I tend to turn off every other notification because I can just go into the app and get my notification that way if it's that important to me. And since you're probably leaving on your email notifications, head into Mail, Contacts, and Calendars in the Preferences and go to Fetch New Data. From here, I'm going to suggest turning off Push Notifications. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and limit how frequently it fetches new data. Right now I have it every 15 minutes, but you can do it hourly or manually. If you do it manually, you'll get your new emails or new data once you go into the application and refresh it. So if email is really important to you and you need it right when it comes in, then leave it on. But if not, then go ahead and just tweak it and adjust it the way you see fit. Now unless you have another iOS device or you have a Mac, I'm going to suggest heading into Handoff and Suggested Apps and toggle off Handoff. What this does is let me start a task on, let's say, my iPhone, then pass it to my Mac so I can finish it there. Let's say I start a text on one device, I can finish the text on another. Now although it's useful, I don't use it enough, so I toggle it off. Also on this page you have Suggested Apps. Now when you're on your lock screen, depending on your location or what you're doing, you may get a suggested app. Sometimes they pop up in the app switcher. The one I get most frequently is my Spotify when I'm in my car. I can go ahead and do this on my own, so I don't need my phone to suggest the app, and I turn that off as well to save some battery. Although I'm always on top of my updates, and updating my applications is something that's important to me, head into your app and iTunes Store's Preferences, then go down to where it says Updates and go ahead and toggle off automatic downloads for that. This will prevent the App Store from automatically updating applications, and you can do it later when you have more battery life or you're on Wi-Fi. Now let's spend time in the privacy preferences because there's so much you can do here. First, let's start at the bottom with motion and fitness. You're going to want to look through some of the privacy preferences like this one and toggle them off. For instance, I'm not using the health app and I don't want my device to constantly monitor my fitness like body motion, step count, things like that. So I suggest turning these things off and save the processing power. Also in privacy down below you have Diagnostics and Usage. Let's go in here. I have it set to Don't Send. What this does is send some information to the Apple developers to help improve and contribute to the development of future updates or iOS versions. Now, my reasoning is I think enough iPhone users are contributing, so I don't need to, so I tend to leave this off. Also down below is advertising. Now you have an option that says limit ad tracking. I'm sure this is pretty obvious, and you're going to want to toggle this on to prevent any or as much ad tracking. Your device won't be tracked as much, and you won't get as many targeted ads on, let's say, Safari browser. The next thing we're going to be looking at in the privacy preferences is location services. Now, much like notifications, I'm going to suggest going through and toggling off or turning off the notification access for particular applications that don't really need it. Now, you can turn it off completely, but that does get in the way of some of your applications. And what I like is some apps do give you the option to enable it while using. So let's say Instagram, I only want it to track my location when I'm trying to tag my location for a particular photo I'm posting and get those extra likes on my really cute selfie. So go ahead and just go through and limit the location tracking for certain applications like Vine. I'm going to do this to never and just go through and adjust it. Now head into iCloud. From here, again, just toggle off the things that aren't necessary. Contacts, maybe I'll leave that on. Calendar, reminders, I had that on earlier, toggled it off. I don't need my mail either. Just go through and make sure that you have everything adjusted just right and you don't have any unnecessary things uploading or being saved and stored to the cloud. Here's something I do on most of the iPhones that I get. Head into general and under the accessibility preferences, down below you have reduce motion. This will reduce those animations when you're opening and leaving applications, a little parallax effect. You can go ahead and reduce that and save some battery life on your device. In addition, it'll also make your device feel a little faster, especially when you're multitasking and switching apps. So this is the Spotlight page, and if you pull down, you also have the search, and you see you have some suggested apps by Siri. If you want to change this, you can do so. If you head into the Spotlight search preferences, you can turn off Siri suggestions and you won't get those anymore, or you can go through and edit the search results on a per app basis. So I have it toggled off right now, and if I swipe over, I don't have those suggestions anymore. I do find them useful, so I leave them on, but if you don't really need them and it's kind of unnecessary, then turn that off and save some more battery life. Here's a new feature on iOS 9 in the cellular preferences all the way at the bottom. It's called Wi-Fi Assist. Now, if you toggle this on, what it does is tell your device to stop trying to connect to that weak Wi-Fi network and just stay on your cellular data because it's a better and faster option. And while it does try to connect to Wi-Fi, this can drain some battery life when it's unnecessary. So have it quit that process a little bit sooner and just stay on your cellular data. So here's an obvious tip in the battery preferences. It's low power mode. Let's say you're running on fumes and you really need to extend your battery life. Go ahead and toggle this on. It'll do a bunch of stuff that'll limit the background processes, how often it's fetching for mail, a bunch of things that we kind of did manually, but essentially it'll try to extend and juice your battery life a little bit more. It'll also slow your device down to that of an iPhone 5 or 5S, but that's alright because you just care about battery. The last tip I have is leaving your device face down. With a new feature on iOS 9, it has face down detection, and when it is face down, it won't turn your display on when you're getting notifications, and that'll help you also save a little bit of battery life. So that's it. One or two of these preferences toggled off may not vastly improve your battery life, but collectively it may increase it just enough to prevent you from hugging the wall towards the end of your day. So definitely check out the full guide over at GadgetHacks.com. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for some more awesome and very useful Gadget Hack videos. Thanks, guys.